Okay, just finding your spot. So today we are doing neck and shoulders and special emphasis on some rotator cuff stuff in the room today. I'm going to add some general flexibility for the legs and work with the feet a little bit in terms of nerve flossing. And I think that's about it for today. So let's find our Tadasana. We're in East Vancouver today at my studio. It's a nice change. So just feeling your feet, that's the foundation. And today working with the heart, the emotional heart. And the arms and the hands as extensions of that heart. As you inhale, let's bring our arms to the side, any height, and just find the height for you. Now, if you have a rotator cuff injury, going far back is not going to be comfortable, and probably rotating the thumbs back won't be comfortable. So you can have the palms facing down instead, alternatively. So just play with the height and also whether the thumbs are back, palms up or down. And then bring the hands to the heart. Now feel your feet. Do you want your feet apart or together? What feels better? Maybe bending the knees, tracking the knees over the second toes, bowing the head to the heart. Inhale, opening the heart. Today in Vancouver, we have a beautiful sunny day. So perhaps bringing in a bhavana of the sun shining at the heart as you inhale, and exhale, gather up that light back to the heart center. The sun is an image of expansion and burning away what is not helpful. Exhale, gather up that light back to the source of you. And inhale, let that light radiate out. Exhale, make a ha sound if you like. And inhale through the nose, if you can, constricting the throat a little bit. And if doing that Ujjayi pranayama, constricting the throat, if that tightens the neck, notice that in some people it's contraindicated for neck tightness doing the Ujjayi pranayama. So just keep that in mind. That's something I just learned in the past year from my teachers in India. If you like adding the Om sound, or keep going with the humming Brahmari. Releasing the arms. I'm going to work with sound and movement today a little bit, which is a special part of the Krishnamacharya Desigachar tradition. Inhale, the arms coming up. So the sound work, very helpful for the nervous system and also for the throat chakra for expression of truth. Exhale, coming to one side. So I'm focusing today on the upper body as I do this, but you could, if you've got some lower back stuff, You could focus more on sticking the hip out and more the lower back. If you're focusing on the upper back, just focus on spreading the ribs apart as you come to the side and stretching under the armpit. If your arms aren't comfortable in this position, you can adjust them, hands on the top of the head, hands on the shoulder, arms at the side. And you can also do this, see if you can see me a little bit, yeah. Just, you can do this at the wall if you like this. That's a nice variation. So just pick your medicine. And there's a tendency when we do this, there's a tendency to rotate forward. So it's actually warm enough. I think take my sweater off, which is nice. So just notice any tendency to rotate forward. With that shoulder, it probably indicates some sort of tightness in that side. Then maybe staying on one side. And if you want to intensify it, you could have the hands together. Again, watching that rotation forward. You could put some traction on that top arm by holding the wrist just above the wrist. And if the breath becomes short or choppy, this is biofeedback that you're probably going too far. That said, twists are harder to breathe in. Inhale up, exhale, find your other side. You're welcome to change sides whenever it feels better for you. This is your practice. And notice where you feel this in the side body. Is it in the upper body, the upper back, or is it more into the waist, the hips, and even into the leg? Adding on, if you like, palms together or interlock the fingers to get more stretch, or holding that top wrist. And then coming out of it, and exhale, release. Okay, so we're going to grab the belt. I think we did this in the summer. This is something I pulled out of my closet of yoga therapy practices. And this one can be really helpful for strengthening the shoulders. So for some of you today, there's a lot of shoulder stuff where strengthening seems to be best. And you put that belt, mine's a little twisted, but it doesn't matter. You can put it just below the wrists. Okay, ideally you remove watches, etc. I've got mine on for teaching, but otherwise, if you can, remove any of those things. And you can also put it just below the elbows as well if you want to play with that. It can be a little bit less intense and more stable for some people. It's just finding your place. And then I want you to push out as you inhale, and then just see what height you can go. I'm especially curious with the rotator cuff folks. Just find that height, and you're pressing out into the belt. You can just go to your place. So your elbows will be probably bent a little bit because you're pressing out. And then exhale, release. And I'm going to add on the legs and feet. So, and upper back, lower back. So doing a bit of a cat-cow. I like adding this flossing of the whole body when I do Tadasana. And you can add an arch here. I'll show this way so you don't have that belt in the way. And just keep that going. And this is taken from my work with Iyengar Yoga about 10 years ago for 10 years. And I've added vinyasas to some of the stuff I learned. You can also put the belt in the hands if that feels better. That's another variation. So play with all those positions. And feel how strengthening that is. It's strangely strengthening. As you exhale, think about hugging in. And as you inhale, think about creating space. So again, that's a cue that can be helpful for rotator cuff injuries, but for all of us as well. And just finishing up when you're ready. Okay, I want you to take that belt and I want you to make it nice and wide. Working a lot with shoulders today. Nice and wide, and bring your feet apart as well. And I'm going to hold it in my hands this time, but you could pick another place, your wrists or just below the elbows, just above the wrists or just below the elbows. So inhale, I'm going to bring the arms up and press out that way, and just see where you feel that in your shoulder, and exhale down. Now for the rotator cuff folks, you might want to do this with the palms down. That might feel better for you, palms down. Feel the difference without that rotation in the shoulder. And then can you add, I'm going to have my palms facing each other, but feel free to have the palms down and decrease the rotation. Can you add a little bit of movement in the thoracic spine and lower back, neck and shoulders? So it becomes a whole body move. Just a variation on Tadasana. That flossing of the neck. And notice if looking up, how that feels on your neck. If you feel tightening of the sides of the neck flexors, just look forward rather than up. Depends on the neck. Sometimes the neck just really prefers to stay very neutral rather than gazing up. So just notice that. And again, this is strengthening for the shoulders, warming up the whole back. Okay, we're going to take that belt now behind. Can you keep it wide? And for the rotator cuff folks, it's probably not going to work, so keep the hands forward. Do the previous exercise with the hands forward. If you can rotate back, I'm doing this with my palms facing out, so I'm doing a lot of rotation. You could do it with the palms in, which is less rotation. So just play with that. And then just see if you can inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale, forward fold halfway, bending the knees. Inhale, bring the arms up and arch up. Feel the stretch in the front of the shoulders. If you don't have that injury I just discussed, exhale, release. And if you want to intensify, you can start coming forward more. So for the folks with the rotator cuff injury, just let go of the belt at this point and just go up and down, slide your arms up and down the legs. Just get rid of this. This is a lot of work. But if you don't have an injury in your rotator cuff, this probably will feel quite good. And just finishing up after about 6 to 8 times. And release. Okay, so There's a lot of work in this area. So we're going to do some warrior, some more freestyle movement without the propping. So with 1 foot forward, so I'll show side view. I've got about heel to heel alignment. It can be wider this way. It can also be longer depending on the length of your legs. So just find about a hip width position. And we're going to inhale. We're going to come forward, bring the arms to the side. So again, those rotator cuff injuries, just have the palms facing forward rather than thumbs back. If you can, thumbs back and lift the chest. If you've got that rotator cuff injury, can you just look up a little bit without thinking about the shoulders so much and just get into the upper back? And then exhale. This will probably feel good for all of us. Give yourself a hug and stretch the shoulders the other direction. Inhale, coming way forward. Thumbs either facing up or back, or they could even be down if that feels better for you. Play with that rotation. And exhale, give yourself a hug. When you hug, feel your upper back go back. Keep this going your own timing. Now bringing the bhavana of the sun, that felt sense visualization of the sun radiating out of the heart as you inhale, and exhale, gather up the light back to the source of the heart. And after 6 to 8 times, if you can, stepping back and come to the other side. Finding your stance, and you might have one side very different than the other. Just know that that's completely normal. And with yoga, because we work one side at a time, we have the opportunity to notice that and work with it. It's a wonderful opportunity to keep us more stable as we walk around and run around our lives. Inhale, bending that front knee. Bring your arms to your place. So maybe your arms just go here. Maybe my palms are down. Maybe my palms are forward. Maybe my palms are up. How far back do I go? Well, how does that feel in my shoulders? That's your inhale. Exhale, give yourself a hug. Feel like your upper back is going to the back of your room. Keep this going your own timing, adding the radiant sun shining out of the heart. Exhale, contracting. Inhale, opening. So this week I've been thinking about the concept of grace. Opening to grace. Acting gracefully. Moving gracefully. Inviting grace to support. So as you come forward, you can think about opening to grace. And exhale, draw it in. Keep it in. And finishing up. And just notice how you feel in your neck and shoulders. I've also been thinking about the nodding of the head, the yes and no movement of the head. So just try that. How that feels versus Sorry, I didn't even say that right. This is the yes movement. I was thinking yes and no, it was funny. And the no movement, the side to side, and just thinking about how that relates in life. You know, which one is harder for you? For me, the no is very challenging compared to the yes. So I like saying yes to everything, which I've had to work on because that doesn't work out very well. You have to balance it with the no. And this axis is thought of as the spiritual axis. And this is the earthly axis. So that's from my medieval Christian studies way back. This is axis spiritus and axis mundi, earth. So that's kind of an interesting reflection that you can think about. All right, so moving on, I'm going to move some rotation. We're going to work on that no, that no movement. We're working on the yes. We're now going to work on the no. So inhale, bring your arms up. I'll show side view in a minute if that helps you. And exhale, going to your easy side, so away from the front leg. This is right from Chennai, India. My teachers in India teach this a lot, working with neck and shoulders. Bringing those arms back. Inhale, I'm straightening the front leg as I bring my hands forward. And exhale, now going to the harder side. So for my rotator cuff friends, just noticing how far you can go back, just going to your place. You can just rotate side to side a little bit. With the palms down and lower, this might be easier than some of the other movements we've done today. Or you can just go to that easy side away from the front leg if that feels better. So we're working on rotating the upper back. As you exhale, bend that front knee and rotate to where you can, and then inhale, straighten. Now, if you can you look at the middle fingers as you do this, working with the eyes. So we also do this when we're working with balancing eyes. There's one eye that's possibly stronger or weaker than the other. We can actually exercise our eyes, and we do this in yoga therapy, believe it or not. And just notice any feelings in the shoulders, paying attention. You get a sensation of pain where it's sharp, intense, that's usually a sign to back off. If you get a duller sense of pain and your body says, this is not safe, then pay attention and back off. And release. We're going to do the other side. So looking at those middle fingers. This can be done in a chair for chair yoga. For those of you, during the day you're wanting to do some movement, it's a great one. Break, computer break. Can be done standing, of course. Inhale, bringing the arms to the center, palms down. Exhale, I'm going to start with the easy side, moving away from that front leg, bending the front elbow. That front hand goes to my back shoulder. Seeing where you can rotate. Inhale, coming back to the center. I'm going to straighten my front leg now, just to add some variety. You could have your front leg bent the whole time. Exhale, bend the front knee. Now, just see that harder side. And inhale. Keep this going your own timing. And again, I imagine for my students with the rotator cuff injuries, when you go to that harder side, at some point you're going to feel that back shoulder. Palms down, it should make it a little easier, less rotation. And this is really working with opening the chest. So this is also really actually important what we're doing right now for immunity during this time of COVID. We want to be working a lot with the upper back, with the ribs, with the lungs to keep healthy. So this is for warding off colds, flus, and obviously COVID. And if you were to get COVID, which I hope none of you do, but if you were, these would be the kinds of things that we would work with privately, is movement of the rib cage and the lungs. Just finishing up your last round. And coming back. Whew. All right. So just give your shoulders a bit of a roll forward and back and just see what's going on. And then do that nod of the head, the yes nod, and then the no. And just notice differences between sides. Okay, we're going to move into some nerve flossing. So one of my greatest hits of this is something I invented based on physiotherapy, and I've yogified it. Very helpful exercise for working with the hands, the arms, the shoulders, the upper back. We have these three nerves moving through the ring, middle, and index fingers, through the carpal tunnel, into the arms, into the upper back and neck. So this is a way of flossing them. Nerves like to be flossed, like you floss your teeth, back and forth. This is also fairly strengthening for the arms, surprisingly. So inhale, I want you to imagine that you are a server and you're holding some trays. And as you come to the side, you're going to bend your knees. I've got my feet turned out, but this is up to you. The legs are an add-on just to make it more fun. My fingers are facing up, and can you bring your fingers back a bit? And then inhale, center again with rotator cuff issues. Don't bring your arms back so much. So inhale, center, exhale, side. So here I'm trying to feel that median nerve, the nerve that's going through the middle finger. Inhale, center. If you're not here feeling it, if you bring your hands further back, you might feel it. And you might be feeling some muscle fatigue. Holding your arms up. Exhale out. Okay, release that. So we're going to add on two other movements. Just give it a shake for a minute. So inhale, center, exhale to the side, and you're going to bring your fingers back now. Inhale, come up to the center. Exhale, side, the fingers are up, and then you tip them forward. So this is working with the two other nerves. Inhale, center, exhale, side, turning back. So this is getting into the radial nerve through the index finger, maybe. Inhale, center, exhale, side, rotate forward into that ring finger, the ulnar nerve. Inhale, center, keep this going. Exhale, side and back. Inhale, center. Exhale, side and forward. Inhale, center. Exhale, side and back. Last round. You might be getting some muscle fatigue in those arms. Inhale, center, exhale, side, front, and give it a shake. Okay, we're going to move it into the side body again. This is working with the upper back and also into the lower back a bit. So you're just going to come with one foot turned out. So for you, this probably looks like your left leg. Inhale, the arms coming center. Exhale, come to the side, and I'm hoping you can see this with my light. You can flex the fingers up to the ceiling. Okay, so we're going to add that piece, and then the hand back to your place. So we're going to work with those 3 nerves again. And then as you inhale, I want you to floss, do the full floss, tipping your head to the side. And exhale, you're going to tip your head the other direction, and this time you're going to bring the fingers back. So we're going to work with all 3 nerves now. Inhale, center, scooping at the heart, tipping your ear towards that shoulder. Exhale, side, tip your fingers forward. Inhale, coming up. So I'm really focusing on my upper back as I do this. Exhale, fingertips facing up. How far back do you want to bring that hand? How far down do you want to bring that left ear to the shoulder? Inhale, coming up. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Last round. Exhale, center, tipping the fingers back. Inhale, center. Exhale. You're going to tip the fingers forward. Inhale, center. And feet parallel. And then the other side. So about heel to heel alignment in a warrior 2 kind of position with the legs as you come into that Parshva-Konasana, that side bend. We're just going to start with the arms up in the regular way. Inhale, exhale, bend that knee. So your right knee coming to the side. I'm going to leave my hand with the palm facing out and the fingertips up to the sky. And then that arm and hand, bringing it back to a place where I might feel my middle finger, and then my head, I'm going to let it tip down towards my right shoulder. Inhale, I'm going to come up, I'm going to scoop the heart and tip the head the other direction, feeling a stretch through the neck. Exhale, side, and tip the fingertips back. So notice if one arm feels very different than the other. Inhale, center. Exhale, side, fingertips forward. And can you let the head go a little bit? Inhale, center, last round. Exhale, fingertips up. Let the ear come down towards the shoulder. Inhale, up. Again, head coming towards the shoulder. Exhale, side, fingertips back. Inhale, center. Exhale, side, fingertips forward. Inhale, up. And release. Give the arms a shake. And notice how you feel. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of work at the wall now. We're going to start by just stretching the calves because we had some requests for that today. So just start with your easy side, your easy leg back, whatever that is for you. And your hands can be at the wall here. You could be using a chair if you don't have a wall available, but if you have one or a countertop, that would be great. I don't need to see you if you need to run to another part of your house right now. And then can you fold your arms, rest your head on your arms, or have your palms facing up and get more into the neck and shoulders. So adding that piece and the forehead to the wall. And then that back foot coming to your place, working with the fascia at the bottom of the foot into the calf. So the plantar fascia. And you're going to exhale, you're going to bend that back knee, getting to the soleus, the deep calf muscle. And then inhale, stretch back. Now I'm looking at my foot, making sure the little toe side of my foot is parallel to my front foot. Okay, we're going to switch sides. So I'm putting my toes up on the baseboard, but you don't have to do that. And my feet are parallel. And the hands are parallel, so I'm trying not to have the elbows playing out. So again, if you've got one of those rotator cuff injuries, this is probably too much. Bring the hands down like this. That'll be much easier. Or just fold the arms. Okay, so pick your medicine on that. If you want to intensify the stretch, hands up, elbows parallel. And then exhale, bend that back knee. Inhale, straighten. Notice if you feel this in your legs or your upper back or both. Exhale, bending, inhale, straightening. And when you feel complete, coming out of that, you're comfortable and you're at a wall, you can bring your arms up. Tadasana at the wall, just resting here. Or you can bring the hands down if you've had enough work on the arms. You can also have the hands apart or elbows bent. So just modifying for your shoulders. And then from here, we're going to go into some wall push-ups. So we're going to start with side plank. So you could do this with your arm on a chair. So I'm actually not going to show that today, but that's an option. I'm just going to show this version. So you could have your hand on a chair, just make sure the back of the chair is at the wall. You could also have your elbow on the seat of the chair to intensify it. And of course, you could do it on the floor if you want to do the full pose. I'm just going to show this version because I know, especially as we age, this becomes a bit more challenging usually. So can you have your feet together? And can you inhale, bring your arm up and stretch into the side body. And exhale, release. And I'm moving the hip. So this is working with the lower back as well. Inhale, the hip comes to the side, the arm comes up. Exhale, release. Now, if that's hurting your shoulder, can you adjust that hand or the wrist? Can you adjust the hand so it's not turning the hand? Or do you need to make a fist? All right, so just play with variations of the hand position or even a fist, or you can just do this standing like this. If this pose is just not working for you, just do it like this instead, okay? So let's try. So I've worked up to being able to do this with a chair now. But in the beginning, I was surprised. I was like, oh, I haven't worked with my arm strength very much lately. So I'm going to have to see if I can increase that strength step by step. So this is one way to start. And then we're going to do the other side. So you're going to see my back body now, just so you can also see the wall. I've got my feet together. You could have the outer foot crossed on top of the inner, if that felt better. I'm aligning my wrist, my shoulder, my chest. And I can adjust where that arm is in terms of height. So it's probably easier if your hand is higher. I can have the palm turning out. I can use a fist. You might need to remove some rings if you're doing that. And you might just do this. This might be your pose. If you can, inhale. So this is Vashisthasana, side plank, modified of the wall. And exhale, release. Let the hips come down. Inhale, up. Exhale, release. So for my scoliosis students, this is one to do daily. If you think of it, it's a great little yoga break. Or for anyone who has an imbalance in the hips or the upper back, one shoulder higher than the other. Another great COVID one, it's really working on mobilizing the rib cage, helping us get more oxygen into our lungs long term. And notice if that's feeling like work for that arm that's at the wall. After doing that around 6 to 10 times, just finishing. If you guys are okay after that, now we're going to try these wall push-ups. So this is chaturanga, which is a pose I don't teach anymore at the floor because too many of my students got wrist stuff going on. But at the wall, it might be more accessible. So can you align your wrists and your shoulders? And if you need to, with arthritis in the hands, turning the palms out, that might be more accessible. Or you could do fists, okay, like this. So play with those options. You could also do this on an elevated surface like a bench or what else? A chair. Okay, so just finding your place. I'm going to align my wrists with my shoulders. So inhale, this is my plank position, and exhale, I'm trying to keep my elbows aligned. So this is yoga style chaturanga. I know in exercise, they move the elbows out, so you can modify that way if you like. And play with that. And I'm going to turn my hands out a bit because especially that left side, I had a rotator cuff injury from India when I was 30, and it's always been there with me a little bit in that left arm. So I have to work with that. And then weakness in the upper arms can translate into the wrist, pain in the wrist. So Your problem in the wrists might actually be strength of the shoulders. Spread those fingers apart. And play with the distance your legs are away. Come a little closer. What does that feel like? Probably easier. The height of your hands. There's always to modify. Just finishing up this exploration. It's another one you can take home with you. Exhale, coming down. Inhale up. All right, so give your arms a shake. That was quite a bit of work. It's almost time to come down to the floor. I'm sure you're very excited about this. Before we do that, we're just going to stretch the legs. A couple of you have been running and moving and doing lots of things with your lower back and legs. So we're just going to stretch those legs one leg at a time. I invite you to bring one foot to the wall since we've been working with the wall. I know some of you have been an in-person student in the studio. You've been exactly in this place I'm in right now. Inhale, the arms coming up. This is for balance. You don't have to have that foot on a wall if that doesn't work for you. Exhale, just start with bending that front knee. Align your torso on your front leg. And then inhale, come up, arms out at the sides. So we're just going to make that circle to begin with. Now, if you can you keep that front leg straight as you come forward? If you've got a lower back problem, do bend your front knee. Maybe bend the knee as you come forward to get the belly on the thigh. And can you have the arms in line with your ears as you come up and down? So these are ways to intensify the pose. We're just going to actually go up and down at your time. And if you want to intensify further, interlock the fingers and stretch long. And if you're ready, staying at the bottom and adding some stitchy, inhale, lift the chest, upper back. Nodding the head up, exhale, nod down. If you've got some blood pressure issues, bringing the head lower than the heart might be contraindicated. So your forward bend might look like this, always looking up, even when you come down. So just notice if your heart rate or blood pressure is feeling out of whack as you bring your head lower than the heart. With medication, that usually is resolved, but just be aware of that as a possibility. Those of you with glaucoma, any eye issues, also bringing the head lower than the heart might not work. You could do this forward bend with your hands on the seat of a chair or on a table. If you're ready, stay in your position, either hands on the floor, on blocks, on a chair, a table, and stay here. Down, regulating the nervous system. And when you come up slowly, come halfway at first, just walk your hands up your legs, bend your front knee, inhale. Exhale, stay. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, you could step back or forward. Got my heels at the wall. Bringing my other foot forward, back heel turning out. Just picking your medicine. Inhale, arms to the front or to the sides. Exhale, I'm going to stretch way forward. You could bring the arms side right away. I'm going to bend that front knee to begin. Looking at the alignment of my heels, about heel to heel alignment or a little bit wider. Just adjusting anything I need to as I start. Inhale to begin with, bringing the arms to the sides, palms down, and then rotating up if that's accessible for the shoulder. Straightening the front leg. Exhale, the next round, I'm going to keep the front leg straight. Your choice, please bend it if you have a lower back issue. I'm going to bend mine a little bit at the bottom to create a bit more space. Inhale, I'm going to bring my arms in line with my ears. You could bring them to the sides or just bring your arms up your leg for support. So just drag them up your leg. And I'm going to go up and down, lengthening the spine and rounding the lower back as I exhale. And inhale, arching the back. Intensifying, interlocking the fingers. Very helpful if you've got one side of your upper back that's a bit more compressed than the other. It's a great modification for upper body scoliosis, for example. To keep both shoulders working in a similar way and the rib cage. Using my Ujjayi pranayama, constricting the throat. Keeping it soft, long, smooth, subtle. And when I feel ready, staying at the bottom. Sthiti, inhale, arching up. Looking forward, lengthening the spine, getting the belly on the thigh. You can take your rib cage and kind of pull it up and feel how that lengthens the lower back. Exhale, release. Draw the belly in. Inhale, arching up. Maybe coming up into your fingertips or hands on the leg. Exhale. Keep that going a few rounds and then stay in your Parshva Uttanasana. So I'm adding some upper back work here, even though we're working with the legs. And now staying, breathing. Staying 4 to 8 breaths. Just coming out of it very slowly, bending the front knee, dragging the hands up to the thigh. Inhale, exhale, stay. Inhale, coming up the rest of the way. And exhale, step back. And we're going to end with a forward bend. Feet wide, and I'm going to show this side view so you see how we stretch the upper back with this version. We're going to stay in this pose. Inhale, the arms coming to the sides, which is more about stretching through the upper body. Palms can be down. If there's a rotator cuff issue, coming to your place. You can even come to something like this at the top. Exhale, coming forward. Again, you can do just dragging your hands down the legs if that feels better. Come forward, bend the knees as needed. You can do this with your hands on the seat of a chair or a table if you like. Bring the hands forward as if you're doing a downward facing dog, but with your legs very wide. So Prasarita Pada Uttanasana, wide, spread it for bend. Modification for upper back. Bring the hands forward. Now stretch back. You feel stretch in the legs. But now let's inhale, arch forward. Now If your wrists are hurting, adjust those hands. The hands could be on blocks. They could hold blocks. They could be turned out. You could use fists if you absolutely needed to, or up on the fingertips of the hands. So just see which one is best today. Can you weight both of those hands? I tend to like have mine turned out. It feels better for my shoulders, gives me more space. So play with that. Focusing on the upper back, mobilizing the upper back, neck and shoulders. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, stretch back, traction of the whole spine. And nod the chin in as you exhale. Jalandhara Bandha, chin lock. Inhale, neutral neck, and then if comfortable, looking forward. Be careful if you have RA, rheumatoid arthritis, that nodding of the head up can be contraindicated. Inhale, you might want to ask your doctor about that. Inhale, so neutral neck or looking up. Exhale, notice any pain you're having in your wrists or any of your joints, adjust the fingers accordingly. If it's not comfortable, come to a higher position with your hands on a chair or table. That will take the strain out of the hands and the arms, of course. And then just stay and breathe if you can. And work on those lower bandhas. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. Inhale, chest to belly. Exhale, belly to chest. You can let go of that chin lock if that's too much on your neck. And when you're ready, walking back. Full pose, hands in the center, holding the big toes with your peace fingers, bending the knees as needed. It might feel better for your lower back and your groin to bend the knees. Holding the ankles. And gradually coming up, sliding your hands up the legs, bending the knees, taking a few breaths as needed for blood pressure. And we are ready to go to the floor. Please grab your belt. And if you happen to have a bolster, so you can use this. You can use a big pillow as well. Okay, so we're gonna play with that. I'm gonna try to keep out of this big sunbeam so you can still see me okay. So we're just gonna start by putting that bolster on the ground. I think I am gonna be a little bit in that sunbeam. I'm just gonna put the shade down a little bit here. This might help. So you can see me. I think that's better. Okay, let's try that. It's an unusual problem to have in Vancouver. So just going over here. Can you guys see me okay? Is it okay? No? That okay? I'm going to say yes. I'm not sure your hand signals. I'm hoping that's okay. Okay, so I'm just going to lie here on this bolster with my arms at the sides. So you can do this with a pillow. You can do it with a rolled mat. And we're just going to take a rest because I worked you pretty hard in standing today. So we're just going to take a rest here. And you're going to stretch those pec muscles, pectoral muscles. Now, rotator cuff friends, this might be way too much. So if this is too much, which it might be, you could just lie on the floor flat with the arms any height that's comfortable, palms up or down. Okay, so just pick your medicine. We're just going to breathe here. Inhale, chest to belly. Exhale, belly to chest. Now, if you don't have blood pressure issues, heart issues that are under control, inhale, you can skip this hold. Inhale into the chest, into the belly. You can do this. Hold here for 2 to 4 seconds. Exhale, draw the belly in. The chest falls. Inhale, chest expands. Belly expands. Exhale, draw the belly in. Chest falls. Now, if your lower back is not feeling comfortable, if you're on a bolster or a pillow, you can put a pillow underneath the buttocks to decrease the compression of the lower back. So I had to do that for my first 10 years of practice because my lower back was a major problem in my late 20s, early 30s. And then eventually I was able to do this position comfortably. So please adjust for your comfort. Now, if you'd like to add some bhavana, felt, sensed, visualization, embodied, somatic, feel the shining sun radiating out of the heart as you inhale and hold after inhale. Circulate your energy moving clockwise in that radiance during the hold. And then as you exhale, just focus your mind on the center of the sun at the heart. Drawing the light back to the source of you, the source of your prana energy, deep in the heart, according to the yogis, our deepest well of energy. Inhale, chest, belly. Suspend the breath after inhale. Feel that radiance of the sun. And exhale, draw the belly in, feel the chest fall. Keep this going your own timing. A few more breaths. And just letting that go. Yeah, it looks like we're just going to move right into Shavasana. So just take that pillow or bolster, put it under your legs. Do a nice Shavasana and then end with some pranayama, niyasam finger movement, and chanting. Just resting About 3-4 minutes. And you can focus your attention on your heart center, your upper back, neck, and shoulders. That radiant heart. You can visualize the sun shining out of the heart. Rays of light all directions throughout your whole body. Rotating your energy in a clockwise direction. Feeling that radiance go beyond your body into the space around you. Filling your body with light. If you like, adding the mantra, inhale M, exhale light. When you're ready, starting to increase the length of your breath. Try to move the hands and feet. One knee at a time. One side to side. Rolling to one side, coming to a comfortable seated position. You're welcome to sit in a chair. That feels better for you. Use my bolster to sit on. But, free. Do whatever feels best. So I'm just going to actually come a little closer to show you. I'm going to do this standing so you can see my hands better. So we're going to do some pranayama, and we're going to work with nyasam, which we've been working on. I think all of you know this now because I do it so much. So inhale, thumbs up the index fingers. Exhale, index fingers down the thumbs and flick. And then thumbs up the middle fingers as you inhale, exhale, index fingers down the thumbs and flick. This is for arthritis of the hands. Inhale, thumbs up the ring fingers. Exhale, ring fingers down the thumbs. Flick. Inhale, thumbs up the little fingers. Exhale, little fingers down the thumbs and flick. Now, if this is not working for you, you can just do one. For example, inhale up and exhale, stay like this. And then inhale up, exhale, stay. Okay. Inhale up, exhale, stay. Inhale up, exhale, stay. Or you could just do inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So those are some modifications, okay? Classically, these are ways of counting the breath in chanting and pranayama, okay, using all the joints. So anyway, that's a whole nother story, which I will do another day. But in my own pranayama practice, I thought I'd introduce this today. Use one hand, Vrigi Mudra, or you can modify it just a little beak or word up, okay? But Deer Mudra is first two fingers down. I feel like I'm swearing in some foreign language, but anyway, this is Deer Mudra. This looks like a deer. I have a lot of deer on my property. I'm very into deer now. And you've got one elbow up. It's my angle today. I can show this really easily. Okay. And you inhale into a half closed nostril if you can. And then you close that nostril completely and exhale through the other. So I'm going to do inhale left, exhale right. Okay. We're going to do Chandra Vedana. This is moon breathing. This is for relaxing the mind. This is for working with the mind, for healing the mind. Okay. So for those of you who feel like your mind could use a little therapy right now, this is the yoga way of doing it. We focus on the moon and the mind. We did a lot of sun work today, very kind of work. We're going to balance that out with some moon work. Okay. Now the other hand, you're going to count the breath doing this. So inhale here, exhale here. If this is sounding too much, you can ignore this part. Okay. All right. If this sounds like, okay, Maggie's gone crazy today. She's in Vancouver. She's gone wild. You can just do this, for example, or nothing. All right. So let's get started. I'm starting with my right arm. I know it doesn't look like that, but you use your right arm. I'm not going to modify this one. I'll get confused. And I'm here. So inhale, I'm breathing through my left nostril and I'm doing this. Exhaling through my right nostril and doing this. And you would do this with your palm on your lap. Inhale, next left nostril. Exhale, right nostril. If you can, as you do the exhale, you half close that nostril. Inhale, left nostril. Exhale, right nostril. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Okay, we're going to switch hands. So I work with both hands just because I don't want to create imbalances. Okay, and then I'm doing this on this hand, the counting or whatever you want. We're doing 2 rounds of 4, okay? So inhale, left. Exhale, right. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Trying to half close the nostril as I exhale and inhale, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And bring your arms up, interlock your fingers, stretch it long. And last round, just with the arms, you're seated. Inhale, arms up, doing that vinyasam. Okay. You're seated. Exhale, coming down. And in your own timing, just 4 more times to bring your total breath count to 12. So as we move into middle age, beyond about 50, 55, it's good to up our breathing practices and our meditation practices according to the yoga tradition and spend less time on doing crazy asanas, postures. It's not so much the focus anymore in our life. And just if you like to end with stretching. And I'm going to sit with you for the final meditation as we close. Seems fitting that I've got all this light around me today. Hands at the heart. Vishokava. You can repeat if you like. Vishokava. Jyotishmati. Jyotishmati. This is from the Yoga Sutras, and it means by meditating on the light in the heart, the mind will become clear. Vishokava. Jyotishmati. Vishokava. Jyotishmati. Vishokava. Jyotishmati. Om Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti.